What is the biggest scam that we all tolerate collectively? Wedding shit. Everything is so marked up and it's insanity. Like we just say, oh okay, we need to pay for an inside envelope for a wedding invite. But why? Why am I paying for 3 envelopes? Because weddings, that's why. With one exception, I agree. Anybody who has to show up in person for the wedding, they probably earn that extra surcharge. Weddings are notorious for lying about how much time they want. Oh, we only need the band for 2 hours. Lying about their setup. We have speakers / tables / serving platters. And being overall stupidly annoying customers. My husband contracts a string quartet for weddings. And so often he ends up being at the wedding for 4+ hours instead of the 2 hours the bride and groom previously mentioned. He started marking shit the fuck up and requiring a 50% deposit to be paid as well as the full cost, paid 72 hours before the date. He has been burned one too many times by shitty weddings. Booking fees when booking online. To pay my rent I have to pay a $40 convenience fee for paying with card online. They do not accept any other methods of payment. That's usually illegal. They're almost always required to have an no fee option. It just might be pay in person during very limited office hours. Oh, that's a good one. WTF is a resort fee anyway? A fee for staying at the hotel you're paying to stay at. Duh. Vegas has ridiculous hotel fees. Maybe in 10 years they'll add a fee just for breathing their air. I paid $300 for 3 nights at Vegas online. When I arrived they charged me a mandatory fee of $25 a night for wireless internet. As someone from Belgium I'm absolutely flabbergasted by the resort fees and the ticket fees they charge. It's all in the small letters. But worst of all, you also have give a deposit for your room. Of course you get it back, but WTF dudes. What's wrong with America? In Belgium all prices are so clear. You see water. €1 and you actually pay just the €1. Here you have to think about every purchase. I love the Americans as they are friendly, but I don't understand how you guys deal with this ripoff. The original game of the resort fee was to reduce the commission payment they were paying to travel agents, since they got a cut of the advertised rate, but not any fees. You often see it only in old school touristy areas, Vegas and southern Florida mostly, where agents were instrumental in putting together packages and selling vacations back in the day. Later, when the booking websites really took off, there was pressure to do it again. The websites only advertise and charge on the stated rate, but not added on fees. So hotels can reduce the amount that those websites keep by moving more of the real cost to fees instead of the base rate. The EA prohibits this, mostly because they feared that it would be a way for hotels to reduce their tax bills by lowering base rates and shifting more to alternative revenue streams. Cable/internet providers. A ton of places have only one provider in a given area. With no competition they can basically do whatever the fuck they want. I live in Las Vegas and my first apartment complex only had one option. Hello random fees! ! I think this is mostly a US problem, as somehow monopoly is illegal, but non-compete agreements are not! ! Printer ink with ungodly prices. Get a laser printer. The cartridge for mine cost me $10 and has lasted over 1,000 pages and is still going just fine. I'm a college student, so I print mainly essays, research papers. I got a brother in 2012. The beginner cartridge lasted me 4 years. The full-sized one should last me 15. It's literally cheaper to throw out your printer and get a new one that comes with ink than to buy new cartridges of ink. Fun fact, most of the time, when you buy a printer that has ink included, the ink cartridges are mini compact TI ones, so you don't get anywhere near as much ink as buying just the cartridges. They're still fucking you one way or another. College textbooks. So much. As a college professor I'm sickened by how expensive books are. I try my damnedest to find OER for my classes, but a lot of them suck in my field. So I've taken to finding the cheapest and using older editions. Cause lordy are they a scam, and the authors make such a small amount from them as well. It's the publishing houses that are making the most money. as a college student, as long as you don't make me purchase some godforsaken $100 online access code I can't even sell back to the bookstore, I'll take whatever book you assign. Also seriously, thank you. One of my profs this semester told us we could get an older edition. Found it on eBay for $10. I ended up highlighting the heck out of it and wanted to keep it, and was able to do so without feeling guilty about blowing some exorbitant amount on one from the bookstore. I despise those access code bullshit things. I had to use them in undergrad for math and a computer class I was forced to take. So ridiculous. My first class, my first professor told us, if you've bought the book from this class and are able to return it. From now on, always find a used copy. If it is an old edition, try to find out what was changed. If they have added information, see if you can borrow the book from the library or your professor for the new information. This show's book is the newest edition. This show's much older book is 4 editions ago. The only thing that has changed is the order in which the chapters come and the name of 3 of the chapters. There are approximate 8 paragraphs in this new edition that aren't in the old one. Online right now is $8 with shipping. New edition brand new hardback at the university bookshop, $218. Yeah, I always try and find the cheapest websites and show them to the students. And there's an illegal scan of one of the books I'm forced to use in a gen ed that's floating around in the web. I tell them, if they happen to find it, they can totally use it. I hate textbook prices. Websites forcing you to download the app for them instead of just using it on Google by turning the Google version into an ad fest. Good news is that apps are largely on the way out for any non-standalone tasks these days. There's no point in making an app for something that can be done using the web browser. It's an enormous amount of effort for a company with specialist developers who may or may not be web developers as well. The real kicker being, if your website can do the job, the app is less appealing simply because you have to download it and fill space on your phone. I would guarantee that redundant business apps are going to be steadily reducing in popularity in the next 5 or 10 years. Web apps are where it's at. Source: for the past 2 years I've been working on both app and website for a company. The app isn't live because the website is doing a better job on its own. We've had the apps on standby for launch for 6 months. No Imga, I do not want your fucking app. The insanely high prices on glasses. They're a lot cheaper to produce than most people know. I hate that they're doing this BC. They know they can get away with it, since sight is an absolute necessity. I can't even see the price tag until it's too late. Ah, the perfect scam. Yep. The same company, Luxottica, owns almost all the brands of glasses and almost all the places that sell them. They have owned Ray-Ban for a while and essentially crushed Oakley by not carrying them in their stores until they wound up buying the company. They own something like 70% of the entire eyewear business. They also lobby heavily about how glasses are prescriptions and shouldn't be sold online. They work with Legit Script, an organization determined to prevent anyone from ordering cheap medications or medical products. Luxottica hates that people can order online instead of paying $700 for their products. Ticket scalping. StubHub is an aftermarket for scalpers who bulk buy tickets, mark them up by a lot, and add no value to anything. Ticketmaster was double dipping with scalpers too. Ticketmaster voluntarily shut down their own regular site where I live because the government was about to investigate them for the obvious conflict of interest. TM knows damn well what they're doing is illegal, but if your government isn't interested in going after them, then they're going to keep doing it. Several artists are working on methods to get around the secondary market, but the problem is we are very illogical. When polled, people are willing to spend a lot of money to see their favorite artists, but if their favorite artist is charging what they are willing to pay, they think poorly of the artist. That is, they are willing to pay $200 to see a show, but we actually prefer to pay that $200 to a third party than to the artist, because we don't want to think of the artist as greedy. Funerals. My mom has a plot reserved next to where my dad is buried. I assumed that meant it's prepaid. Nope, it'll cost $8K to put her in the ground someday. That doesn't include the funeral, casket, etc. Just putting her in her spot. Diamonds. And we can make our own. But nobody wants to wake up with a horse head in their bed, so we all collectively look the other way while the De Beers empire sucks up fantastic amounts of dough. Chocolate diamonds. This is my favorite. Let's take the worst quality diamonds, brand them as a candy, and boom, profit. No other industry can turn literal garbage into pure profit just by renaming it.